RLCraft is considered to be the hardest Minecraft mod pack, so why not attempt to survive in hardcore RLCraft for as long as I can? This was a mistake. Attempt number 1, I had experience with RLCraft in the past, as you can see with my popular RLCraft series from around a year ago. The first objective for every RLCraft survival is to create a knife. I punched the leaves of this tree and made my way to a river, where I could get some flint and break them into shards. This would let me have a knife, which would let me skin grass for some plant fiber. With plant fiber, you can make string, and with string, you can make an axe. Now I can actually cut a tree down and get some wood. Be careful not to get crushed. Fast forward a bit, and I used the rocks I picked up along the way to make some stone for my pickaxe, and as I was gathering more fiber, I got tail whipped by a maca. These lovely benevolent creatures are passive, but I just so happened to run into the aggressive alpha of the group. Attempt number 2. You basically know how each of these attempts will start, so I'll just skip that step to avoid boring you. I gathered enough string to make some wool for a bed, and slept the first night away. The nights of RLCraft are filled with deadly monsters, so it's best to avoid it when you're unprepared. A few days passed, and I killed enough animals for enough levels to mine iron, and on day 5, I found this huge temple. I climbed it, and found a single chest waiting at the top. I stumbled upon a battle tower. These things are worth climbing just for the amount of levels and treasure you can get from it. I discovered that if I broke my way in through the top, the sun would shine through and make it too bright for mobs to spawn. I found another tower and employed the same strategy. I made a paxel, which is a pickaxe, shovel, and axe combined into one tool. This thing is OP. I bumped into this obsidian tower next to a lava lake. The lava was generating monsters like this flying, fire-breathing demon. It was guarding the tower, so when I finally entered, I was expecting greatness, but it was empty, just like my soul. I raided another battle tower, but instead of doing this strategy, I went headfirst into the dark booty hole of the tower. It was completely covered in skeletons. I did not want to be headshotted, as that would mean instant death, so I forced my way into a dark corner of the room. It was a horror film, where I was the guy who decided to hide from the killer by going into the closet. One little peek, and the killer spots me immediately, making for a horrific jump scare. Already the second attempt, and this was the first I had gone with over 16 days completed and 3 hours played. Attempt number 3. I spawned in the coldest biome imaginable. I tried huddling up with some torches in a cave, but it wasn't enough to keep me warm. I was freezing with hypothermia, and rushed into a battle tower in hopes of warming up. But alas, what did I expect? Running into a murderer's house during a snowstorm is a simple recipe for disaster. Attempt number 4. I was roaming the woods when I was sniped by a skeleton lurking in the shadows. Dun dun dun. Attempt number 5. I was excited when I saw this dead dragon. I could make so many things with the bones, so I rushed over to collect the bones. I was hoping to make great bone weapons and tools, but silly me got caught and pummeled by a snow spirit thingy. Attempt number 6. I spawned in the ocean and tried to surface for air, but my character can't hold his breath for longer than a couple of seconds. Attempt number 7. Again, I spawned in the ocean and was seduced. I know not to simp, so I turned the render distance down and managed to escape the seduction. I swam towards a boat and found a nice bed and some food. It was comfy and cozy, but I had to leave. Then I reached a little island where there wasn't much to do. I figured out how to make a boomerang, and I decided to test it out on a harmless snail. What could go wrong? But the game just finds any excuse to kill me and spawns the Grim Reaper on me. Attempt number 8, and I mined some coal only to find that a coal monster wanted revenge on his coal brethren. I surprisingly fisted to death, but another Reaper decides to show up. Apparently the last attempt wasn't enough for him, so he followed me into this world as well. Using what I learned from the last game, I made a boomerang, but sadly, I would still need 1,000 years before I could master it. Attempt number 9, jump scare. What? Attempt number 10, I speedrun death. Seriously though, the ocean spawns are just super annoying. They should just be removed, to be honest. Attempt number 11, I was chilling near the water and I learned how dangerous that could be. This sea serpent just jumps out and attacks me while I'm just cooking my food. Attempt number 12, I experienced another ocean spawn where I didn't reach the air in time. Attempt 13. Alright, as you can tell, surviving the start of RLCraft boils down to luck. I spawn and this S tier lobster monster speeds over to me like he's on coke and eats me alive. You can't outrun this thing, so I was basically dead as soon as I met him. Attempt number 14. This time, the grass monster wanted revenge on me for chopping his grass brethren down. This plus the cold meant instant death. Attempt number 15. I was stuck at sea for a while, but I reached an island where I spotted a battle tower. A skeleton sniped me as I was looting though. and I didn't make it alive. Attempt number 16. Again, same death as before. Attempt number 17. Stupid idiot me couldn't even kill his food properly. Attempt number 18. You would assume I would stop going to the battle towers after dying so much from them, but you were wrong. Attempt number 19. To be fair, skeletons are OP and can one-shot you if you have no shield or helmet. Oh, and I died again. Attempt number 20. This is the first time spawning in a village, but the heat was unbearable, so I was sitting in the water so often just to cool down. The good thing is that the village is stacked and protected by these blue Aegises, so I was basically guaranteed to survive if I stayed. Well, that was until I decided to see what nighttime had to offer. What is that? No! Attempt number 21. Is it just me, or do ocean spawns only happen in RLCraft? This is just getting ridiculous. Attempt number 22. This fairy looking creature attacked and I tried my best, but the thing is, it's too agile and I'm too weak because I literally just spawned. I have nothing but a little sword. No. I like this. I like this. Attempt number 23. So when I came out this battle tower, it had a special surprise for me. I'm surprised with all the battle towers I come across. I hadn't met this guy yet until now. Attempt number 24. I was dumb. I thought I could conquer a battle tower with barely any equipment. I had progress in these past few attempts, so it was making me reckless. I was doing some dumb stuff. Attempt number 25. I found a dragon's corpse, but I could not warm up in time. Attempt number 26. Here's another dumb battle tower death. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and I totally understand now, but I'm still gonna continue doing it. Attempt number 27. This day is cool. I crafted some imp treats with all my sheep meat, and I tamed an Afrit. Look at him go. Oh, and turn down your headphones for this clip because I get mad. Seriously, I'm warning you. Turn it down right now. Afrit, what are you doing? I asked for you, and you did nothing. Attempt number 28. I found this dragon and it was alive. There was a house near it, so I set up base in hopes of killing the dragon. This attempt was one of my more successful and longer ones. I had my Paxel, armor, and plenty of healing supplies. I was feeling pretty hopeful, but it made me reckless. It was a dark night and I was chopping a tree down until I felt some claws on the back of my neck. A bird had lifted me up into the sky. I sliced it down, but dropped to the ground. The impact from falling so high up shattered both of my feet, making me slow. I couldn't run and this zombie swept in for the kill. To be honest, this is one of the greatest examples of teamwork I had seen. Attempt number 29. I gave these guys a high five and they gave me one back. Attempt number 30. This is another ocean spawn. I swam to a battle tower and a castle combined. I went into the castle and it was packed with wood, which is perfect for someone who is stuck in the middle of the ocean. I could have actually survived this if I hadn't died to this cave spider right here. Attempt number 30. I was mining in a ravine and I randomly got poisoned and killed. I didn't even get to see this monster's face before I died. Hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What is that? Attempt number 32. This is the same as attempt 13, where one of these unavoidable super speed S tier monsters attacks me. Attempt number 33. In the middle of the ocean again, and I found this cross. I quite liked this item as it gave me extra hearts. I couldn't get out of the ocean though, so I froze to death. Attempt number 34. One word. Battle tower. Attempt number 35. I got a close look at the dragon before he spat his stank breath and burned my face off. Ah! Attempt number 36. This grave was great for robbing, but this blaze didn't think so. What the heck is this guy even doing here? Attempt number 37. This underwater ocean house is perfect for getting paper, which is used for making healing items, but that doesn't really matter because this bird decides to interrupt my outdoorsy nap. Attempt number 38. This is my 100th attempt at doing a battle tower. Zombies were everywhere, but I had the high ground, or so I thought. I just got force pulled. What in the world? Attempt number 39. Off to another desert village and I was sustaining myself pretty well. But when I spotted this pyramid and entered, I never realized I would never get out of it. I was pinned to the corner while being mercilessly beaten by these monsters. I'm so dead. Attempt number 40. The grassman won revenge on the penguin. Can you really blame me? Attempt number 41. It was an intense fight with these lions, but a bird swoops in for the kill. Talk about kill stealing. Attempt number 42. Imagine spawning in the ocean next to the most deadly ocean creature. Yep, I totally knew I was gonna die at this attempt. Attempt number 43. I spawned in a cold biome, but I was able to get a boat, find this hot air balloon, and craft some warm wool armor. The plan was simple. I started a chicken farm, which would let me have some avian treats. Avian treats can be used to tame rocks that I could use to fly around in. During the middle of the night, I was paralyzed and taken out by a group of monsters before I could even say like and subscribe to support the channel. Attempt number 44. Battle Tower Skeleton. Attempt number 45. Immediately, I made an attempt to escape this cold biome, but it was just too big. The cold temperatures were too harsh for me to handle, and I just died right there. Attempt number 46. I was strolling along the beach, admiring this nice mountain view, until BAM! Struck in the head, never to wake up again. Attempt number 47, and I discovered an ant. So, I decided to be a nature documentary. What is this? Like, crusty butthole. It's like an anthill or something? What the hell? This is the grossest thing I've seen in RLCraft. Are they nice at least? What do they do? Maybe I just follow one for this time. The worker ant discovers some, what is that? He discovered a rock. So he's gonna get that rock now. Oh! He dropped the rock. What's he doing now? He picked the rock back up. He's headed towards something over here. I think he has the goal in mind. Oh, there's another entrance to his lair. If I go in, will they attack? Can I keep documenting? Yo, I'm sorry. Are you here to attack me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. After that, I fell into a well. It was lucky that there was gravel at the bottom, or I would have starved down here. Well, it doesn't matter anyways because I met my fate soon after. Attempt number 48. Sleep was just not enough to escape the creatures of the night. I woke up, and the monster still chased me and killed me. Attempt number 49. There was a zombie death. Attempt number 50. Alright, this was pretty intense. There was a dead dragon resting upon the tree above, but I managed to cut it down and retrieve its bones. It was extremely cold and I was freezing with hypothermia. The only reason I was kept alive for so long was because there were these fairies around regenerating my health. I rushed to get string from the grass in hopes of making wool armor, and anytime I needed to heal, I would chill with the fairy. I would continue this for a whole 10 minutes and get as far as making a nice wool shirt and pants. However, my head and feet were still cold and I failed to reach the fairy in time before I breathed my last final breath. That was my 50 attempts of trying to survive RLCraft. Let's look at some stats, shall we? For the longest time alive, that would be my second attempt with 2 hours and 52 minutes. Winner for the shortest time alive would be my 10th attempt where I died as soon as I spawned. I spawned in the ocean 7 times and died to a battle tower 10 times. My favorite attempt has to be attempt 47 where I followed an ant. It was a nice change of pace from all the chaos. Anyways, this was meant to be a quick video, but it took over 25 hours to make. Comment your favorite attempt or moment and I'll be sure to heart it. Thanks for watching and have a good lunch. Oh, and what did I learn from all this? I learned to not to ever do it again. This was horrible.